News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. On-site workers will no longer be required to get vaccinated against COVID-19, but they will have to undergo regular testing starting next month. Let's go over this new protocol with National Task Force spokesperson Restituto Padilla, who joins us over the phone. Good afternoon, sir. Sir Resti, starting December 1, unvaccinated employees working on-site will be required to undergo regular testing at their own expense. Now, first question, sir, how often is regular testing specifically, and what happens if they refuse to get tested?
Well, the requirement for regular testing is first based on the desire of all establishments to ensure the safety of all their workers and at the same time of clients visiting them. So if a facility is given a security or safety seal by government and the DTI, that means to say that all the employees are fully vaccinated. But for those that will not be able to fully vaccinate their employees because of the refusal of some being their right to refuse, they will be required to do the protocol that you mentioned, which is to be tested on a regular basis. Now, regularity will depend on the company, but usually it is every 2 weeks. Some may even require every week, just in case the number of people visiting their establishments is as frequent as most busy establishments.
Right, and can employees refuse to get tested regularly? What if they don't want to get tested and they refuse? What will be, the workaround that is available to employers? I'm, of course, assuming that firing them will not be amenable.
Well, if the employee desires to be on site to work, they should accede and agree to a regular testing protocol. Otherwise, they will not be allowed on site, because of the basis by which I mentioned earlier, which is to ensure the safety of clients and the workforce that is in the area. So this testing protocol is essentially based on those two principles of ensuring maximum safety for both workers and clients.
Right, and of course, sir, we all know that even though the price cap for RT-PCR swab tests have already been lowered, it's still kind of pricey to be paying this much, right? Hello, hi, sir. Can you hear me still? Hello, Sir Resti?
Yes, could you repeat the question again, please?
Right, so we all know that RT-PCR swab tests are quite expensive. If this is too expensive for employees, are they going to be allowed to use antigen tests?
Well, it depends on the company and the testing protocols that they are establishing. Some companies do employ antigen testing on a regular basis, and this is to monitor the health and the number of COVID cases that may ensue. Some companies may opt for the gold standard, which is the RT-PCR test. So it will depend on the company, actually. And this being at the cost of the expense on the worker's part, it would be best that the alternative be taken, which is to get vaccinated.
Right. Now, when we say on-site workers, sir, just further clarifying this, will it mean every single person who works in an office or retail establishment, or would this only apply to like certain businesses like salons, spas, derma clinics and all that?
Well, consumer patronized businesses, I would recommend mandatory vaccination really, because of the visitors and the clients that regularly come to them. So if you want to guarantee the regularity of your clients to come over and feel safe, then being vaccinated, vaccinating the entire workforce would work best for the business establishment, especially if they want to keep a safety seal. But for those that may be operating independently without the benefit of visiting clients on a regular basis, like offices, it will be on the employee's part and the employer's part to ensure the safety of everyone in the establishment. So the regularity of testing will depend on that kind of protocol. If they're doing hybrid work and some are working at home on a regular basis, then potentially the unvaccinated employees can continue to work home, perhaps at a reduced pay, or if they are required to be at the workplace, to be tested beforehand.
All right. Now, will there be penalties, sir, for employers and employees who will not comply or caught not complying with this new policy?
Well, essentially, it will be up to the employers to enforce this and the LGUs to monitor. The issue here and the principle behind it, as I mentioned, is for the safety of everyone, both at the workplace and those who are visiting the establishment as clients or customers.
All right. Now, if we flip things around, sir, are fully vaccinated workers still required to go through testing? Can companies make testing mandatory even for fully vaccinated employees on site?
The regular testing on an antigen testing, using antigen testing kits are actually employed already by many companies just to do a regular health check on many workers to avoid any kind of breakthrough cases, just in case all of their employees are fully vaccinated. So this is more or less for the safety of the workers themselves also, because they go home to their loved ones, and hence being very sure that you are not sick with COVID redounds to the benefit of the workers also and their loved ones.
All right, thank you so much for clearing all these issues up for us. NTF spokesperson Restituto Padilla Jr. on the line. Thank you, sir. In other news, authorities arrested a former U.S. Air Force officer in Quezon City for experimenting on illegal drugs. Marlene Alcaide with a report.
Armed with a search warrant, the NBI Task Force Against Illegal Drugs raided this house in Barangay Teachers Village West in Quezon City. Authorities received information that Ramon Luarca, a retired serviceman of the U.S. Air Force, is involved in pushing illegal drugs. It took several hours before the NBI found this luggage full of cocaine. They also found some 27,000 tablets of ecstasy in Luarca's storage room, as well as cocaine, shabu, marijuana, and other drug paraphernalia and chemicals amounting to 65 million pesos. Authorities say Luarca has been experimenting to produce a new kind of drug.
It appears that he's concocting illegal drugs and experimenting to come up with a new party drug. That was the first time we saw the concocted party drug that caused death. So this is the first time that we were able to discover a clandestine drug.
The NBI also arrested his driver, Wilson Apalisok. Both tested positive during the drug test. Aside from drugs, a 9mm Uzi submachine gun, Remington shotgun, Glock pistol, .22 automatic rifle, and 800 rounds of ammunition were also seized from the drug lab. Luarca, however, said these are just part of his collection. He also refused to answer questions on camera. Authorities are conducting a follow-up investigation to see if Luarca has a protector. The two have been presented for inquest proceedings for violation of RA 9165 or the Comprehensive Drugs Act of 2002. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
The Philippine National Police will be veering away from the infamous Oplan Tokhang as it continues the government's drug war with a new focus. Newly minted PNP Chief General Leonardo Carlos told the chiefs that he plans to strengthen the Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council. Carlos also said that he will be focusing more on recovery programs for drug users. The police chief also wants better coordination in anti-drug operations to lessen the risk of police abuse.
So I'm not saying that the program of Tokhang is not good. They're good. However, the use of the word nagbago. So ang amin pong gagawin dyan ay yung pong taking care of our barangays and the surrenderers. Yun po yung sa amin pong demand reduction and the supply reduction. We will continue to conduct anti-drug operations. Hitting naman ito yung mga malalaki.
The health department warns that active COVID-19 cases could increase again if protocols are disregarded. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere told the chiefs that the number could go as high as 20,000 by mid-December. Vergere also raised concern about the poor implementation of minimum health standards, particularly in malls. She noted, though, that they have already talked to LGUs and regional offices to maintain the safeguards against COVID-19.
In our projections, the assumptions included would be mobility, the compliance to minimum public health standards, and the response of the local government from the time period from detecting to isolating. So if all of this, like mobility will increase up to 100%, and then the minimum public health standards compliance definitely will be reduced. Baka tataas tayo by December 15 up to again 20,000 plus active cases.
The health department logged over 1,100 fresh COVID-19 infections today. The country's caseload is now at 2.8 million, some 18,000 of which are still active. At least 99 duplicates were removed from the case count. The virus killed 195 more patients, pushing the nationwide death toll to more than 45,400. Some 170 of which were just reclassified from recoveries. Meanwhile, survivors are now at 2.7 million, with over 2,100 new recoveries logged today. Over 2% of some 25,000 people who recently tested for COVID-19 returned positive results. 8 laboratories were not able to submit data. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Commission on Elections says that the decision on the petitions seeking to cancel Bongbong Marcos's candidacy will likely be released by late December. A preliminary conference to discuss the petitions will be held on Friday. As for deliberations on the disqualification case against the former senator, the COMELEC says it could take longer. Military resupply ships have arrived at the Ayungin Shoal, according to Acting Palace spokesman Carlo Nograles. Malacanang says the resupply mission did not encounter any problems along the way, unlike last week when the Chinese Coast Guard fired water cannons at Philippine supply boats. And the Senate has approved a motion to recall the budget of the Philippine Sports Commission, or PSC. The Senate noted that the commission failed to intervene in the compensation issue involving Olympic pole vaulter E.J. Obiena and the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association. The association had accused Obiena of not paying his coach and falsifying his liquidation reports. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.